Patrick Star sampled every ice cream in the shop for free. He even grabbed a big scoop and asked the staff for more. This terrible behavior got him kicked out immediately. It just so happened to be the shop's break time. Patrick overheard their conversation. He learned that staff could eat all the ice cream they wanted during breaks. This gave Patrick an idea. He applied for a job on the spot, but working there was no piece of cake. He had to stay clean and keep a positive attitude. He even had to believe in aliens. Of course, Patrick didn't listen at all. He fell fast asleep right away. Seeing this, the manager decided to put Patrick on dish duty. Looking at the leftover food on the plates, Patrick came up with a plan. When the manager came back, all the dishes were spotless. Patrick's method was simple. He ate the dishes and then spit them back out. Helpless, the manager took Patrick to the cold storage to work, but Patrick didn't listen to a word. When the manager checked again, the doorknob was scorching hot. As soon as the door opened, ice cream came gushing out. It flooded the entire shop in an instant. The manager had enough. He was ready to fire Patrick on the spot. When SpongeBob heard what happened, he decided to help his best friend. He crawled inside Patrick's shirt. He pretended to be Patrick's hands to help him work. It worked like a charm. Patrick made ice cream in no time. He even got promoted to the front counter. With his amazing ice cream skills, he became a hit with the kids. But Patrick soon got bored. He fell asleep again. He jolted awake only when he heard it was break time. He jumped into an ice cream truck and sped off. Once he and SpongeBob separated, Patrick went on an eating spree. He ate the entire ice cream truck in one go. He burst back into the shop, gobbling down ice cream chunks one after another. He pressed the lever on the ice cream machine, letting ice cream pour straight into his body non-stop. He even helped himself to the customer's ice cream. But after eating, Patrick felt freezing cold all over. His body began to ice over rapidly. The frost kept spreading, from the ice cream shop to Bikini Bottom, all the way to the ocean surface, until the whole planet was frozen solid. 50 billion years passed. The ice slowly thawed. Patrick, of course, got fired, but he didn't care anymore. He'd had more than enough ice cream. The assassin had to roll a die before making his move. The number of shots was decided by the die roll. It landed on 4 this time. He chambered around. He aimed at the empty street. Before the target even showed up, the first shot rang out. The moment the target appeared, a bullet struck him right in the left shoulder. The second shot fired straight away. Suddenly, the target's companion lunged forward and took the bullet for him. Seeing this unexpected turn of events, the assassin halted his attack. He saved the remaining 2 shots. He planned to torment his victim slowly. What the assassin never knew was that his target was also an expert marksman. Moreover, the target recognized him. 7 days prior, this very assassin had killed Jigen's employer. Jigen had not cared about that incident at first, but he never expected the assassin would come for him next. Jigen refused to wait for death passively. He resolved to take out the assassin before getting killed himself. When Jigen and Lupin arrived at the assassin's residence, they were utterly stunned. The yard was filled with tombstones. Worse still, there was already a grave marker made for Jigen. Feeling openly provoked, Jigen rushed into the house. There he found Fujiko, their companion, who had been captured earlier. Right after that, the assassin blocked their way inside the building. Jigen pulled out his revolver at once, yet the assassin was far quicker. He knocked the gun right out of Jigen's hand. That was his 3rd shot. The next one would finish Jigen off for good. Realizing they were in grave danger, the 2 men turned and fled immediately. They were soon cornered at the docks. The assassin set up a sniper rifle in the distance. With nowhere left to run, they decided to take a desperate chance. They charged forward together. The final shot echoed loudly. There was no one to intervene this time. With his mission accomplished, the assassin soon received a new assignment. His new targets were Lupin and Fujiko. The assassin rolled the die once again. It came up as 1. That meant he had to take down Lupin with a single shot. He wasted no time. Another bullet flew through the air. Surprisingly, the shot missed its mark entirely. At the exact same moment, a bullet pierced the assassin's chest. The assassin spun around in alarm to see who had fired. To his shock, the shooter was none other than Jigen. This boy was born blind. He never imagined he would ever see the world again. The boy possessed an extraordinary natural talent for water magic. In just 5 months, his skill surpassed that of his teacher. With nothing more than basic incantations, he could conjure lifelike creatures. Even the royal court mages were full of praise for his spells and unique ideas. Thanks to his remarkable abilities, he soon became the favorite apprentice of the top mage in the realm. One day during a magic lesson, his teacher casually remarked that the water orbs Kunan summoned were about the size of human eyes. Those words struck a chord with Kunan right away. He resolved to use water magic to restore his sight. From that day on, Kunan practiced water magic relentlessly every single day. He kept forming countless water orbs and held their shapes for long stretches of time to sharpen his control over magic. The method sounded simple, yet it drained an enormous amount of magical power. Even as a bearer of the water rune, Kunan struggled to sustain this state for long. He would not stop practicing until his magic was completely exhausted, and his body could no longer endure the strain. To boost his magical strength, Kunan decided to train his physical body. This method worked surprisingly well. Right after he finished his sword practice, he effortlessly summoned 7 water orbs, leaving his teacher utterly stunned. Good fortune kept coming his way. Before long, Kunan learned that his blindness was closely linked to a mark called the hero's scar. It was an innate mark passed down among the descendants of heroes. Those who bore this mark were born lacking a body part, a sense, or even certain emotions. In return, they were blessed with unparalleled talent in a specific field. This was exactly what happened to Kunan. He traded his eyesight for an exceptional gift in water magic. What's more, he was the first person in the kingdom in 100 years to receive the hero's scar. His father was a powerful marquis, so an engagement was arranged between Kunan and the 9th princess the moment he was born. Princess Princess Marika did not have feelings for him. She did not look down on the blind. Instead, Cunon had once spent his days sunk in sorrow because of his blindness. The thought of spending her whole life with someone like him filled Marika with unease. To her surprise, when they met again, Marika found Cunon had changed completely. He carried himself with gentle manners and used water magic to amuse her. Her heart was instantly touched. They spent a wonderful time together, and she secretly looked forward to their next meeting. In the days that followed, Cunon kept up his daily sword training and continued to refine his command of magic. Then one day, he perceived colors for the very first time. Wild with excitement, he formed a huge red water orb above his head. Just then, his mother called out to him. Distracted for a split second, he lost control. The orb burst and splashed all over him, scaring his mother until she fainted. At first, Cunon had no idea what had happened. It was not until a maid told him red was also the color of blood that he finally understood. To prevent such accidents from happening again and help Cunon adapt to his new life quickly, his father made the decision to send him to school. At first, Zenigata actually believed his words, but he soon noticed the thief would accuse anyone he saw of being the real thief. To stay on guard against trouble, Zenigata checked everyone in the prison. After confirming all inmates and staff were innocent, he was certain the man in the cell was none other than Lupin. Yet the situation was highly strange. With Lupin's wits, he should have broken out of prison long ago. For half a year, he did nothing but shout non-stop and never made a real attempt to escape. Zenigata first thought this was all part of Lupin's escape plan. Later, he began to suspect Lupin had truly lost his mind. This was hard for the guard to accept. He had spent his entire career chasing Lupin, and now he even secretly hoped the thief would take the chance to run away. The execution day soon arrived. Instead of escaping, Lupin looked like a wild savage. He kept insisting he was not a criminal and that the guards around him were the real Lupin. Goemon disguised himself as a monk to visit him, hoping to help Lupin break free. Still, Lupin refused to admit his identity and refused to commit the crime of escaping prison. Goemon eventually left in helplessness. 30 minutes remained until the execution, when Lupin suddenly stood up. He used his long fingernails to tear his clothes open. He had simply waited until everyone gave up on him. He could have escaped at any time over the past year. He chose to hold back all this time because Zenigata's smug look at the moment of his arrest had infuriated him. He planned to play a big prank on his old rival. Just then, Zenigata returned to patrol the cell. Lupin took the chance to make a request. He asked Zenigata to find someone to shave him before his death, and Zenigata agreed. As soon as the guard stepped into the cell, Lupin grabbed him in an instant. Word of a prison break spread across the jail right away. Zenigata rushed into the cell in excitement, only to find Lupin had not fled at all. The man acted completely normal and kept saying he was not Lupin. Zenigata could no longer hold back and decided to carry out the execution immediately. He paid no heed to the man's constant shouts as he was led away. At that moment, one of the guards suddenly called Zenigata by his childhood nickname. Zenigata froze in shock, and realization hit him hard. The man standing before him was the real Lupin. All those days of false accusations and pleas of innocence were just a scheme to swap places with a guard at the very end, letting another man die in his stead. Zenigata hurried to save the innocent guard, while Lupin successfully escaped from prison. What Lupin did not know was his lover, believing he had passed away after his one-year disappearance, had thrown their love token into the ocean, in memory of him. Unexpectedly, the moment they reached the riverside, they spotted the enemies. Worse still, the foes had taken Jinro and Matsuke's hostage. Worried that using communication tools would give away Senku's position, the butler decided to head back and warn everyone. Just then, a woman among the enemies was bitten by a venomous spider. She was scouting ahead alone, so none of her teammates noticed something was wrong with her. Suka and the butler remembered the emergency medicine Senku had given them. It was cotton balls soaked in nitroglycerin. Sticking them on the body could dilate the coronary arteries and restart a failing heart instantly. However, helping the woman apply the medicine would most likely blow their cover. While the butler hesitated, the kind-hearted Suka grabbed the medicine and rushed straight toward the enemy. She managed to save the woman's life, but this also let the enemies spot Suka. They immediately aimed their guns at her. Not wanting to get captured, Suka bolted straight into the jungle. Seeing the danger, the butler quickly pulled a small knife out of his bag. He knew he was no fighter, so he directed Suka to lead the enemy group away, then tossed the knife over to Matsuke's. Matsuke saw the blade flying toward him, and instantly figured out the butler's plan. He used one of the enemies as a stepping stone and caught the knife. His hands were tied tight, so he could not cut free his own restraints. Instead, he untied Jinro first and put their fate in Jinro's hands. Though Jinro was terrified deep down, he picked up a wooden stick and charged forward. He successfully protected Suka amid the enemy's attacks. Still, Jinro could not hold them off alone. Stanley soon smashed his weapon and tied Jinro up again. Seeing that Stanley did not harm Jinro, the butler realized he was not truly cruel at heart. He stepped forward and surrendered without hesitation, saying he was just an ordinary civilian and Suka was a traveling healer. He explained that Suka only acted out of a doctor's duty. When she went to help the poisoned woman earlier, they meant no harm at all. They simply wanted to stay out of the conflict between the two sides and start a new life far away. Stanley did not fully believe his words, yet he lowered his weapon since they surrendered voluntarily. To stay on guard against any trouble, they tied the butler up as well. The butler had anticipated this outcome. He had already sent a